What's going on, everyone? My name is Dylan from Small Decisions Trading, and I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. So let's do a quick little recap on what happened on today's session. The markets literally just closed as I'm making this video. I was just watching it through as I was in the gym all the way till this point now. I didn't really take any of the trades from the point of 12 o'clock. That's usually my cutoff time. Of course, not really much happened, especially with the events that really took place in the morning time, as it didn't really move the market. There's one key point that I want to bring in from yesterday's video, and that was when I mentioned that we were in the selling channel, right? Throughout the morning session, as soon as we open, I'll show you on my other chart what I have plotted. We also opened at yesterday's close, but we actually turned it into resistance to head downwards. Yesterday's close was about like here at this area here, and as you guys can see, that actually flushed straight down. It was also respecting the upper band of the selling channel. Me personally, I didn't take this play here, even though this was actually a really good setup respecting the selling channel. You have a triple quad top, 1, 2, 3, rejected 3 times, 4 times including this time, and it just flushed straight down to the next support level, which we had at 380. I wanted to see if we were going to continue to trend higher, breaking out of the selling channel, or was it going to just completely, or would it just completely head down to the next support level? I believe that we were going to bounce at this. I believe that we were going to support at this 381. Of course, we were supporting here from Friday's session. I had yesterday's close plotted on my trading chart from this morning. I then saw that we began rejecting this level here. I personally didn't take this level here. I personally didn't take this trade here, but this would actually been a really good trade to take. This was absolutely phenomenal. Especially, we actually resisted this point at least 3-4 times on Friday's session. So this would have been actually really good place to catch a short all the way towards the next support, which was actually at this 380. This was actually a level that I was looking at during my analysis in the morning, but I personally didn't catch this move here. We then came all the way down, flushing straight down to this 380 point. We then came down to the next support level, which we had here on Friday's session, which was on Friday's lows. At this point on, what I was looking for was for a bounce. I was looking for us to get back above this 380 level, which we did. We got back above this. We got back above this 380 level, and then we began creating a support on it. This, however, this was actually completely unexpected. I actually took the call here, but I only wrote it up to this resistance point here. I was not expecting this whole move to happen. I was expecting ES and SPY at the same time, because I watch ES as I trade the SPY. Whatever correlation ES and SPY has, usually ES reacts first, then the SPY follows forward. So I was seeing that that at this point here we began pumping above VWAP, but I was expecting a quick flush right back into the range to head back towards the lows. This would have been, if we closed back below 380, I would have been ready to grab puts, as this big top wick here actually had me convinced that we were going to head lower. Now, when this candle printed, of course, you're not supposed to chase at all. So please, if you missed your entry point here, no point of catching this, trying to get in the middle of this, because if you got up to this point here, which was yesterday's close, which we rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So at this point here, it gave me conviction that we're going to continue heading lower. Bear flag was actually forming at this point, so I caught some puts here, wrote it down to this support here. Now, this is where I made my mistake. I ended up having 2 contracts, and I was usually would leg one out and I'll let the other one ride down. I ended up closing both out. Now, this is where the 9 EMA started tapering below the 20. This is where it started tapering, showing signs towards the downside. Now, I could have caught puts back here as it broke to retest. I just fumbled. I just paper handed it. I didn't even take it at all, and I couldn't even take it in here, and I still didn't take it. Since this was actually past 12, I usually wouldn't take a trade after 12. Today's session was pretty boring. Of course, the price action was absolutely terrible. Always look from hindsight. I can always see the mistakes that I made during the trading session itself, and it's always good to do like recaps like this, because now you get to learn for future experiences, learning for the setup, learning when to be patient and stuff like that. And that's one thing too, days like this when it's very boring, like when it gets sideways like this, it's really key to keep patience. Now, if I was patient enough and I took this put up here at this top where it was yesterday's close, of course I would have just rode this straight down, and I would have made whatever daily profits I would have had for the day, and I would have just called it quits at that point, went to the gym, and went about my day. Of course, there's always the next trading session. Trading sessions like this always requires patience, and that was one thing that I kind of lacked today as a trader, which I want to correct on tomorrow's session and for my future going sessions. Of course, never beat yourself up for this trade. Just learn from it, move on to the next one. Of course, there will always be greater setups, better trading days, better conditions to trade under. So if you guys didn't take any trades today, you guys in the red like I did, don't worry. It's all about the experience, all about the journey. I think for sure the market is definitely waiting for FOMC, so I wouldn't be surprised if we actually chop all the way through till we get to that point, which I believe is January 4th. So coming into the rest of the week, I definitely need to have more patience, need to definitely wait a lot more longer for my plays to actually work out, especially because with today's price action, you guys had to like hold your plays for like a while just for them to play out, or you guys had to get like a really great entry before the move even happened. Like the puts up here, if you guys were able to take puts on this top of the range here, you guys most definitely would have made you guys would definitely made some really good profits on these runs down, especially respecting the resistance point here. So definitely coming into tomorrow's session, I definitely want to see which way do we break out of, which part of this range do we break out of. Do we break below this 380 and continue heading out 379, 378, or do we get above this 382 to continue pushing up to 383, 385? But we do need to see if we do need to see where the market wants to take us. We may, like I mentioned before, we may want to chop all the way until FOMC, which is January 4th, or we're gonna have that move either on Thursday or Friday when one of those data drop. Of course, the data that dropped today, like I mentioned on yesterday's video, these would be the two levels that I'm definitely watching for tomorrow. Calls above 382, or if we continue rejecting it, continue getting puts, and vice versa. I want to see if this 381 level continues to get respected. Catch calls here, ride them back up to the top, or if we break through, if we flush down and then retest it, get puts on the retest and continue heading lower to that 379. That's pretty much what I'm looking out for tomorrow's session. So let's see which way the market wants to head out for. Of course, like I said, it requires patience and discipline and following the rules that you guys set in place for yourself. Tomorrow, definitely continue having the patience if you guys did have that today. If you didn't, let's continue working on having the patience, because that's the one skill that is very underrated when it comes to trading, is waiting for the setups to come to you. I hope you guys found value from today's video, and if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button. If you also thought this was an informative video, make sure to hit that share button to any of your friends that are also traders as well. And I hope you guys are looking forward to tomorrow's session as much as I am, guys. Enjoy.